Working from home means every day is bring your kid to work day. And if you don't have the right tools and mindset to balance work and family responsibilities, you may end up throwing in the towel. Black Moth Radio gives you the upper hand in starting and managing your ideal lifestyle while creating your own business, doing what you do best, and doing it from home. So, grab the nearest ink pen and prepare to take notes, because this show is packed with discoveries, tips, and experiences to help you through your journey. Let's begin with our host, Robin Bull.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Monday the Business Basics show, which is typically what I've been using Mondays to do. This is work from home radio where, every day is bring your kid to work day. My name is Robin Bull, and I am joined with my husband and co-host, Danny Bull.
Hello.
Oh, he's so funny. I really wish I would have live streamed this, because if all of you only knew the one time he projected earlier that the microphone caught it.
I was yawning.
Okay, so today's Labor Day, September the 4th. Do you want to tell everybody where we were last week? There was no show last week. There was no show.
There wasn't. Yeah, we were in Vegas last week.
I had the full Vegas experience.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody from Vegas ever listens to the show, but if you do, you have my sympathy for where you live. That place drove me insane.
We get a lot of Florida and New York, New Jersey.
If you've ever been to Vegas, you know what I'm talking about. But it probably didn't help.
Some people love it. Some people love Vegas.
It probably didn't help that we were there during the Mayweather-McGregor fight. And it probably just didn't help we were in Vegas.
Okay, if you've never been to Vegas, I would say that you probably need to know that I think, personally, they measure their miles differently than we do. Because we do a lot of walking where we live, but, what they say is 2.5 miles.
Yeah, it seemed to take us like 20 minutes longer to get there.
At least. Because it took us like 2 hours to walk where we were trying to get to that one time. And then the 2 hours back.
Yeah, it was
crazy. And don't use Google Maps while you're there.
Google Maps sucks. It apparently has no idea how to get around Vegas.
If you're walking and you have like a straight line, you're probably safe. But like if you're driving, every time we'd hit the intersection at a red light, it would recalibrate and send us the other way.
It would tell us that we were turned around. It sent Robin to the college, which was the complete opposite direction of the convention center that we were actually needing to be at.
Well, maybe it was a sign that like I need to go back to teaching or something.
I don't know what the hell it was. It was awful. It was awful.
So if you do go to Vegas, I would say really the only saving grace, the only thing you need to worry about going and doing / seeing, I would say the Fremont experience, and then near the Fremont experience, that little container, where they built all the stores out of the shipping containers.
The container park?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was neat.
Yeah, everything in that little park was made from container, including the playground.
There was the jerky store with the
jerky store, the Doomsday Prepper store, which I was really upset wasn't opened yet, but hopefully they're open now. What was the name of that place?
The Molotov Supply Company.
Yeah, anytime you can go, even if you're not into the whole Doomsday prepping thing, but the place is called the Molotov Supply Company. Go. It just sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's like you gotta go. So, it's Labor Day. Woo! No?
Yay.
Nothing?
Yay.
Well, for people with traditional jobs, not all, most people have the day off today. Again, I know not everybody does. When you're self-employed, it's really up to you and your deadlines whether or not you have today off, but I thought that maybe you and I could record a little something. I did something similar last year. This is kind of the expanded version. So I thought you and I would have a little fun today and tell everybody the 10 things they can do to fuck up their business without trying. And for those of you, God, I wish I had a camera in here for live today because he's stroking his chin beard.
I think it's just called a goatee.
Yeah, but you have hair that goes further, so I'm not sure that.
This is because I haven't shaved.
So nothing about the title of today's show from you? 10 ways that you can fuck up your business without even trying? No? Well, see.
I'm going to save my commentary for when we actually get into these. Cause...
Okay, I was going to say, see if I ever have you on my show again, which I will, but...
Kind of hard to get rid of me. I live with you.
Hey, you know, I could do the swinger at jiu-jitsu.
True.
I could. Oh, but before we get started, I did have one announcement that I wanted to let everybody know, and then we'll jump right into the list. I am working on putting together a physical, as in your hand, hold it in your hand copy, of a work from home magazine, and it will be ready sometime in September. I've got a few more things I need to do to it first, and then I'll make sure that everybody gets the links. I'll make sure that everybody knows how to pre-order, so if you want to watch for the big announcement for that, you can go to confessionsfromthecouch.com, or you can go facebook.com/therobinbull or twitter.com/therobinbull, and you'll know when the magazine's ready to order. I think we're both looking to see if our dog scratching is being picked up by our microphone.
Yep.
Okay, so.
I think it was.
So that was Panda, if you heard that. So here we go. 10 things you can do to fuck up your business without even trying. Now, these really aren't written in any particular order. My husband is doing the drum roll on the desk. So,
I have a drum. I guess I should just use it.
Well, you know, we could bring Jacob's... Well, I don't know where we'd put it out here in the office, but...
Just a single drum. I don't need the whole thing.
Again, not in any particular order. Are you ready?
Yeah, always.
Okay. Number 1, the first thing you can do to fuck up your business without even trying. Lack of planning. Piss poor planning is going to cause you problems. Proper planning prevents piss poor performance.
Now, if you can just say that like Daffy Duck.
I can't do a Daffy Duck voice.
That would be epic.
Or Donald. I can't do duck voice at all. So.
Daffy didn't have a duck voice. He had...
I know, he had that crazy spitting thing.
Yeah.
So, anything you would like to say about lack of planning? Because it could be any kind of planning. Like, there's a lot... And I think that's part of the problem. People, when they're just thinking about business, they don't understand the actual amount of planning it takes to put together something. And I don't mean just a little something when you're first starting off to bring in like an extra $50, $100 a week or whatever. I mean, like, you actually want to get a business up and running. Lack of planning. So.
Yeah, just because you have tools in your garage doesn't mean that, you know, you should go run out and become an auto mechanic. That
Why
was
not?
what I was going to go with.
Why not?
Well, typically it helps if you know what a carburetor looks like or a fuel injector. You know, just because you're able to change a tire doesn't mean you're going to be able to diagnose what's wrong with a car that's slow leaking oil.
So one thing that I would say, like I said, if you're just looking to make a little bit of side money, again, the planning that you would need to put in is a lot different than if you're wanting to grow something to be your full-time job, to be your full-time income or whatever. I would say, though, that's my husband's Dr. Pepper.
I'm thirsty.
I would say, though, and it's something that I was writing about this yesterday, even if, you know, if you're bootstrapping a business, so, you know, you're not going after any funding at all, you can handle it on your own, I'm still of the opinion that you need a business plan. It doesn't have to be super well written out, super well thought out, or super detailed. It's just, it's a way for you to stop and think about the major components of your business and so that you have a roadmap. You know how you're going to start getting to your goals. And the great thing about a business plan is you can go back and you can change it. So even if your business kind of changes pace, because mine's done that a couple of times, you know, we've had times where I couldn't find web designers, things of that. Like, it ended up being people were leaving their current content providers, like their marketing companies, and coming to me. And so I'd have to throw like a whole team of people together real quick. And we thought for a long time that I was going to end up involved in like full range content marketing, from website to, you know, execution, SEO, everything else.
Yeah,
And so we had to like replan the entire thing as far as marketing, overhead, things of that nature. But if I wouldn't have gone through and done that, I wouldn't have been able to service those clients, at least for a little while, before I was like, you know what, this really sucks. I don't want to do this. I just want to do what I do.
Yeah. On planning, you know, everybody has that prime time that they're able to really get a lot of things done.
Mm-hmm.
Some people it's noon, some people it's midnight, you know, and sometime in between. But if you're making plans to go out drinking at whatever time it is that you are prime working in, that's really just piss poor planning on your part.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, a plan can be something as little as
Knowing what you're going to do with
I'm
your
going
day.
to work.
Mm-hmm.
Another good example of planning is writing down what you need to have done that day. Even if it's only, yeah, as she flips through her 5th notebook.
And next, on your other side, you have my calendar,
Yeah.
as well as underneath the 2 books that the textbooks that I'm doing the comparison on for college. You know that I've got notes for that too somewhere in this room.
So, I mean, it can be something real simple, but you need to be planning. You need to plan something. You need to come up with some sort of idea.
One thing that I like to do, and I've done this several ways because I think it's important to find the way that works best for individuals. I have a daily plan. I have a master list. My master list is basically anything that I have to get done during the week. I used to keep it on this side, the left side of my calendar, and then I started using OneNote for a really long time, and I set that up as a daily planner, and I had my master list there plus my daily to-do list. And I just kind of, you know, plan my days off of what's on that master to-do list. But the other thing to keep in mind, especially if you're going to work from home, as far as planning, is what's going on with your family and what's going on around the house. You know, you're not going to necessarily work the same hours during Thanksgiving and Christmas that you're going to work in April. Especially if you have little kids and they have these things in school that you're going to go to and all this other stuff. So you have to make sure that you have a contingency plan. And you also need to know how you're going to manage your entire day if you have little kids at home that aren't in school.
Right. Yeah, you're going to start trying to plan working during naps or
after they go to bed, before they get up. And,
Yeah.
and that, it does make you tired. Absolutely.
or
I've been there.
or you know, if your kid has a set time that
They watch a show
or they just really don't need your help with anything.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's when you need to get your work done.
Like
Here's the thing about being a parent, a work-at-home parent. You get so many people who are just forcing it. Like, they'll force it on their kid. You know, go away, I gotta work. When, you know, if you had just worked an hour earlier, you would have been fine. You know, you wouldn't be having to sit there and be a jerk to your kid. And, you know, constantly doing that over time could eventually lead to other issues you're going to have with your child. So,
well, you know, it's like, for instance, today is not a school day here because, again, this is being recorded on Labor Day. My office, which is part of the garage that got converted into an office, it has a door that leads out into our very large backyard. And our 8-year-old, he's outside playing right now where we can see him in the yard. Our yard is fully fenced in the back. But the door is also open for him to come in and out, because the whole thing about working from home is it was a cognizant choice that was made in order to be here for him to begin with. So when you have older children, even sometimes younger children, it just depends on how young they are, you could have things to do for them, worksheets, coloring pages, whatever, set them up a little, I don't know, a game or something right next to you while you're working. You know, you can still be together and get things done. So that's number one. Lack of planning is the number one way to fuck up your business without even trying. Are you ready for number two?
Yeah.
Number two, you're not putting in enough effort into your business. That is a really good way to fuck up your business without even trying.
Yeah.
A lot of people that I meet, they think that, number one, that it's like super easy to get started when you work from home. Like all of a sudden you work from home, like clients are just going to land into your lap or whatever. That's not how it works at all. Of course, I've been doing this a while, and so for every 10 proposals I send out now, I'll probably hear back on 7. That doesn't mean I'm going to get 7 new clients. It just means that at least I'm going to get the opportunity to talk to them. And maybe out of those 7, maybe I'll land 1 or 2. And so you really have to go by, you know, like Grant Cardone says, the 10X rule. If you have to put in way more effort into landing, especially clients. You have to put in way more effort into your business than what you really realize. And especially in the beginning, you're not seeing any results. It's going to make you feel like you want to quit. So.
Or you're doing I don't know how many times I've seen this, but the people get started doing freelancing and then they're upset because they're not making money and they're not getting clients. And then you ask them what they've done, and they're like, that's literally it. They say nothing. They don't respond. They have no response because they've done nothing.
You know, I've walked people through freelancing, getting clients, everything else. And the thing is, I can write something out step by step for someone about how to interact with their clients, things to say in a proposal, appropriate rates or close to appropriate rates for a project, how to overcome certain types of objections. And I'll give this to people and I won't hear back from them for a really long time. And then when I finally hear back, it's, well, I quit because I still couldn't get any clients. And, well, what did you do? Well, I followed your thing except I changed blah, 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 blah. So, no, you didn't follow what I sent to you, and that's why you don't have any clients. People want help, but they don't actually want to put in the effort to do what they need to do. And so I think that ends up being one of the main reasons why people fuck themselves over in business. Are you ready for number 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 3, the third way that you can fuck up your business without even trying: poor communication. You already knew that was going to be on the list at some point.
I love whenever the best comparison I can make to this is you get a job, like, you know, I do contract labor, redoing houses and things like that, but you get a job, say you get a job with a contractor who's remodeling a house, and you show up to work and they say, okay, get to work. But they don't tell you where to start, they don't tell you what to do.
They leave you guessing.
Yeah, and you know, let's say you don't have any experience remodeling houses. Well, you have no idea what the crap you need to be doing. So, I mean, it's kind of one of those things like, why in the hell am I even here? I don't know what I'm doing, but yet this guy's expecting me to do all this work.
And the thing is...
And then the guy gets mad at you because you didn't do what he wanted you to do.
Yeah, but the thing is, sometimes people like that, or potential clients that I've actually worked with in the past, they know what they want as an end result, but they don't know themselves what it's going to take to get there. And so it ends up becoming our issue to ask questions and figure it out, and to listen and to get to know their needs. And one thing I've done before is, if people really don't know how to get the result they want, I will just ask, do you care how you get to this result? Like, is there something specific that you want done to help get you to your goal? And if they say no, then that gives me a little more leeway to at least come up with what to do. But, I've also seen it on the ends of the clients and the potential clients. They'll talk to me and then they'll go somewhere else because they think they're going to get a better deal. And then they come back to me and they're like, well, I should have just gone with you because it turns out so-and-so freelancer doesn't even speak English, or, basically they wrote it in their native language and ran it through Google Translate and gave it to us, and now it's all sorts of fucked up. And that really could have been solved just by the client taking a little bit of extra time and getting to know who they were talking to, and not looking just at the dollar, but looking at...
You get what you pay for. And if you're...
A lot of the times you do, yeah.
And if you're one of those people who don't talk to your clients, you're basically... you're giving them what they're paying for, because nobody's going to waste money on somebody. They're not going to waste money on somebody they're not going to talk to. They're not going to waste money. I'm not going to waste my money talking to a wall.
And the thing is, if you don't ask questions as the service provider or the product goods provider, whatever it is that you do, if you don't ask questions and then validate that you really understand what it is that the client wants...
I'm thirsty.
Then you're the one that's going to look like, at the end of it, it's going to look like you're the one that was wrong, because they're not getting what they wanted out of it, all because you didn't ask clarifying questions. And the thing is, it's also true if you work with other freelancers or service providers or vendors or whatever. You need to be really clear on communication. And if people aren't responding to your emails, your text messages, your chat messages, whatever, think about using somebody else, because I've had that instance too, where I will provide some of my work when I have overflow work to other freelancers, and I won't hear back from email, and they're like, oh no, I got it. Well, you didn't bother to say anything to me. How am I supposed to know?
Yeah.
So, poor communication is a really fast way to fuck up your business without much effort at all. So, as you can see, it's a lot of fun in our backyard right now. We have a puppy that gets under everybody's feet. Are you ready for the next one?
Always.
Oh, and we have an 8-year-old who's figured out fart noises. So you're probably going to hear a lot of that in the background today, too. Number 4 on how...
That was the proudest day of my life.
Number 4 on how to fuck up your business without even trying. Poor work ethic. I see this a lot in people who want to work from home because they think that somehow they're going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. They're going to bring in an income, but they get to stay home with their family, and everything's going to be oh so great, and sunshine and rainbows, and then they figure out pretty quick that working from home is a lot harder than you think it is, and you don't have anyone that's like standing over you, making sure that you're meeting your deadlines. You don't have anyone standing over you to make sure that you work when you say you're going to work. And it can become really easy to fall into the mentality of, oh, I'll do it later. I can do this later. And then before you know it, it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. You've been out doing stuff all day. You're fucking tired, man. Like, that bed is the only thing you want. And so you either stay up and work on the project, and it ends up being shit because you're so tired, or you miss a deadline. So work ethic, or the lack thereof, is one way you can very easily fuck up your business without trying.
I did work with a friend of mine that he painted houses. We were supposed to be there.
Nice guy, though.
Oh yeah, nice guy, complete asshole, but nice guy. We were supposed to be there at 8 o'clock every morning. He would show up about 11 or noon, and then we'd leave at 5. But he was the one with the key.
That was always helpful.
Yeah, so basically we would show up at 8:30. Are you videotaping me right now?
No, I'm taking a picture for Instagram.
Ah.
Just keep talking.
We would show up at 8:30, and all of a sudden, we're sitting there for 2.5, 3 hours waiting for him to get there. And then, see, the crap part is we didn't get paid until he opened the door anyways. Another proud moment of my life. Right there. But, so basically we were wasting 2.5, 3 hours of our day that we didn't have to waste. So, work ethic.
It falls in, though, with a lot of the other things that we talked about and that we will talk about, too.
The other thing that upsets me is people that don't deliver when they say they're going to deliver.
Yes.
And the best analogy I can always make for that is the cable guy who's coming over to install your cable. I'll be there between 3 and 5, and they show up at like 7. That is the quickest way to get me to just start slamming doors in your face. And I think it's that way for everybody. It's especially that way in business, because if you're not even going to bother to show up or deliver the goods on time
or early,
they prefer early. But I'm giving people on time.
I know.
Then you're not worth anybody's trouble.
Work ethic is a big thing. And so if you're listening to this and you at some point want to be self-employed, doesn't necessarily have to be as a freelance writer, doesn't necessarily have to be as a contractor, whatever it is you want to do, okay? And you're listening to this, and right now you have a traditional day job. I don't care if it's part-time, full-time, you work at nights, you work swing shift, I don't care. And your main goal while you're at work is to get away with doing as little as possible while getting paid for it. That is essentially time theft, and you have no work ethic. That's what that boils down to.
Thirsty.
You're there on that job to do something, and that's what you need to be doing, not surfing around on Facebook when your boss isn't looking because you don't want to get caught, right?
If you have that poor work ethic, then working at home is probably not for you, because there's nobody to push you to doing your work besides, the utility companies that are going to shut off your electricity, water, and gas.
I hear food is important.
You can live without food for 30 days before you die?
Hell, I don't know. I've never tried.
So, that may not be important to some people.
Ready for number 5?
Always.
Number 5. If you don't know your target market, you will fuck up your business without even trying. For a long time, I actually worried, when I first started, several years back, right? I kind of worried that I was pigeonholing myself to only legal writing. Of course, after a while I figured out, no, that wasn't the case.
Right.
But knowing your target market is really important, because that means it's a lot easier for you to get into contact with them. You know what they want. Sometimes you know what they need, even if they don't know exactly what it is that they want or need. You become the expert, and it makes it easier for you to reach out to them and to gain that business. And, There we go. It makes it easier for you. See what we mean by, it's always bring your kid to work day. But it makes it easier for you to be able to give them what they want. And you can have more than one target market. I work primarily with lawyers, but I've also worked with colleges. I've worked with master's level students. I've worked with doctors.
Fireplaces.
Yeah.
Fireplace guy.
Yeah, the fireplace guy.
He was cool. I liked him.
Yeah, Sam. He was a good dude. But I've worked with Olympians.
Oh yeah.
I've worked with
movie stars.
I've worked with Australian B-level celebrities who didn't want to pay.
That guy too. But I was thinking about the reality TV stars of. Can we say the name?
I don't know.
Okay, we won't say the name, but arm wrestling reality TV show.
It was a show that used to be on AMC.
Yeah.
So don't worry, we weren't going to say anything bad about it. That's for sure.
No, they're awesome people too. But
yeah.
But
yeah. I hesitate to use anybody's name without their permission. It's just good standard practice, I think. But anyway.
Yeah, because
knowing your target market, man.
The old saying, you can sell ice to Eskimos, or that guy could sell ice to Eskimos. That really doesn't happen.
Mm-mm.
And if you're going to try and be that guy who does that, it's not going to work. At least not very well for you. But
look at all that dead air.
I know. I do apologize. I was busy scratching myself.
That's helpful.
Yeah. But if you're typically working with doctors, you probably don't need to go trying to pigeonhole yourself only working with, let's say, lawyers or home builders. You probably, to get your feet wet,
if medical is where your experience is at, yeah, that's where you definitely want to stay. But as time went on, if you get to where you're writing about treatments for certain conditions, you could probably then branch out into
There it is again!
Pharmaceutical writing. And then from there, if it turns out you're a super great researcher, you could probably branch out into other areas. It really just depends on where your experience is at. Like with me, I was lucky enough to work in all sorts of areas. I was a life insurance underwriter, paralegal, obviously. I've been an insurance agent. I've done all sorts of crap. So it's been a lot easier for me to kind of stretch out into different areas, but it's not always that easy. It's just important, though, that you do your research, know where to find your target market, for starters, and know how to reach out to them. But I could probably do an entire show on, getting in touch with those people. So, are you ready for number 6?
No. Okay, yeah.
I was waiting for you to be ready. I was trying to wait patiently.
Oh.
Patience is not my virtue. Not a lot of the time. It is with kids and animals. That's about it. Like, grown adults, get your shit together. Number 6. The number 6 way to fuck up your business without even trying. While Danny makes faces at a chihuahua.
It was making faces at me.
Don't set any goals. That's your number 6 way of how to fuck up your business without even trying. Because if you don't have a goal, some goal, I don't really care what it is. I don't care if your goal is to, start with making $20 a week. I don't care if your goal is to write 800 words a day on something. I don't care what the goal is, but if you don't have one, how do you know what you're working towards? Like, what is the purpose of doing it if you don't know what it is you're doing?
Agreed. This kind of goes along with poor work ethic, though.
It also goes along with lack of planning and not enough effort.
Yeah.
Everything, if you haven't noticed, everything kind of ties together. You could have daily goals. I have daily goals. I have weekly, monthly, quarterly goals. The thing to keep in mind is that when you're setting goals, daily, weekly, monthly, whatever, don't overwhelm yourself. It's great to set big goals. I'd rather fall short on a big goal than not meet a tiny goal, because at least with the big goal, I've probably already surpassed that tiny goal anyway.
Oh, I wish I could remember it, but never mind. There's a really cool saying about that from some famous writer, about setting. It's better to fail at setting a huge goal than it is to succeed at a small one. And
Yeah.
then it gives the explanation why, and I can't remember it off the top of my head.
But if you're like brand new to business and you're more comfortable setting just one or two small goals at a time, do that. Work towards them. That will help you gain confidence in yourself as you meet those goals. And then to meet those larger goals, break them down into smaller goals. So that'll make it a lot easier. Are you ready for number 7? You're going to love number 7. It's going to be your favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Number 7 of how to fuck up your business without even trying: distractions. I wrote down, of course, social media, because
Now, when we say
that seems to be the one that I see people getting sucked into the most.
But when we say distraction, we're not talking about my kid broke his leg and I got distracted because I had to go.
Yeah, no, that's not a distraction.
That's not a distraction. That's a
legitimate.
That's
Take
an
your
emergency.
Yeah.
So what we're talking about as far as distractions, we're talking about
Oh, thank you.
self-inflicted, what I call self-inflicted distractions.
Yes.
Okay.
Self-inflicted is a good one.
Things like,
Shit that you could plan for in advance anyway, most of the time.
yeah. But like, say you're one of those people that work with the television on, and instead of just using it for background noise,
You try to catch up on that favorite show of yours that you're behind on.
you're like, all of a sudden, oh, this is really interesting, and you're watching Days of Our Lives instead of actually working. That's the kind of crap that you very well could have prevented, because most people have.
A DVR?
Yeah, so it's not difficult to, just DVR it, watch it later. Because my mother was a medical transcriptionist from home.
Back in the days when the work from home thing wasn't common, at all.
Yeah, and she started it when I was 8, and I'm 35 now.
Nah, not
34. I turned 35 soon. I'm just getting all sorts of anxious about it, I guess.
It's because you already got your birthday present.
Yeah. But,
Ow.
she'd be sitting there with the headphones in, listening to the doctors, but she would get so
She have the
mesmerized.
Does she have the closed captioning on the TV?
No. But she would get just so mesmerized just because of because all doctors, whenever they're doing their recordings, I don't know if you've noticed this, anybody that's ever done medical transcription, they all start to sound the same. So she would have TV on for some sort of change in pitch so that she wouldn't constantly just be
zoning out,
and then she would actually be a little bit more productive. But she would also have her screen in front of the television. Her computer screen was in front of the TV, so she couldn't just sit there and start watching TV. So, yeah, this was back before laptops. So
back before the digital recorder pedals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back when it was actually super hard work.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that medical transcription isn't hard. I know it is. I'm just saying
it used to be a little bit more difficult for people.
It was. It was. I did it from 97 through 99-ish for a while.
Yeah.
On the side mostly. So yeah.
My mom started in the late 80s doing it from home. She pretty much done it since I was born, though.
You know what else can be a giant distraction that people aren't going to like besides the social media one, which I'll address and piss off a bunch of people in a minute.
Social media and television?
Besides social media.
Which one besides us two?
Your family.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really goes back to the importance of having a decent schedule set up for yourself. I try to set mine up to where it runs around what everybody else needs or wants to do. I know not everybody has a super supportive family or support system at all. I know I've lived through that too at one point, but
And we have friends that deal with it all the time and complain about it.
yeah. And the thing is, when you have people calling you because you work from home, so you're not really working, here, watch my kids so I can go to work,
Yeah.
that's a distraction. And I know that you mean well by trying to help out your family. And I get it once in a while if someone's in a serious bind.
But your family's a dick.
Well, but a lot of the time it's not a bind. People are just trying to take advantage of you because they don't.
They don't want to spend the money on an actual
And you're not working anyway.
Yeah.
Let's
You're
face
not
it.
really working.
Yeah. So, and then of course there's the stuff around the house. You know, the whole procrastination thing. So you're gonna go do the dishes, like you're gonna start doing these chores that generally you, when you worked a traditional job, you fucking hated and you didn't want to do. You're gonna find ways to do those so that you don't actually have to sit down and work. And some of that, though, is because you end up feeling guilty. That shit's not getting done if you're working. But if you're working, yeah, it's the vice versa thing. If you're doing those things, you're not getting paid.
Yeah.
So you really have to learn how to limit your distractions, especially if you're like me and easily distracted. That's another reason why we kind of have this little setup going to where I have kind of my own little area to work. Even if I have the door open into the main house, I'm still isolated enough that I'm not getting distracted by everything else that's going on. So, social media distractions. How many times, just in general, and I think people, they really need to be honest with themselves. And
Wait.
I want to tell them
Wait.
I worked for a dean of a college, and this was back before Facebook was even a thing. And I was taking law office management, I think. One of those classes where they start introducing you to billing and things of that nature, and how in the law office, some bill by the quarterly hour, some bill by 0.6, whatever. So just as an exercise, she got me in the habit. You can blame her for encouraging, the little obsession with time management I already had. You can blame her for this. Just to get me into the habit of billing, she had me start tracking exactly how much time I spent on each task every single day while I was at work. But this was before social media was even a thing.
Yeah.
But if you spend a lot of time on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever, I already know it's not really for business purposes, because there are really neat apps like Buffer
Yeah.
that I use. You just load your shit in like 5 minutes and go. I'm done for the week, right? Except sharing out occasionally something new, but you have to really keep track. For a week, keep actual track of how much time every day down to the minute you're spending on these things, because that is so much fucking time that is being wasted. And I know everybody's thing is, well, but I want to relax. Well, that's nice, but there's a time for it, and it's not every 5 minutes. Facebook is not that exciting, y'all. It's really not.
There's actual studies that show that Facebook really isn't actually relaxing you anyways.
No, it's probably
No, it actually
preparing people to have a coronary.
Yeah, it's causing more stress. The whole, it was kind of done with the same study as being more people are lonely now with that Facebook exists. They have more friends, but they're actually more lonely.
Well, yeah, you've seen people at restaurants
Yeah.
together eating across from each other. I've seen younger people on dates. I've seen people our age out together. I've seen people older than us. One of them always has their phone, like literally just right here in their face, and the other person is just eating.
Yeah, so
It's
just shut it off. I
Like-
mean, I go days without Facebook. I mean, it may be open, but there's been times I've gone days without even being looking at it.
I check my messages there quite a bit. I'll check it in the morning. Usually, I have a couple times a day where I try to check it, but it can be a big distraction, especially if you're working from home and you need to be focusing on what you do. And so My advice, people aren't going to like it for that, take it off your phone. Like, uninstall the app or turn off all your notifications. Because once I turned off notifications for Facebook, I turned off notifications. I think the only notifications I get now for social media is Instagram. That's it. And that's a private account that not everybody can even see.
Right.
So I don't get very many
Yeah,
notifications
because
there.
if you have notifications up on your phone,
I don't even get email notifications on my phone anymore. It's too distracting.
well, yeah, but if you get Facebook notifications on your phone's going off every 4 minutes. If you're lucky, it's going off every 4 minutes
Yeah.
because somebody, somewhere, one of your friends has got something they need to say or some drama they need to express or
Vague booking. It's my favorite. I
yeah,
love seeing that. People do that crap.
and
It's so funny.
you know, for God's sake, just shut the damn thing off.
So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Distractions. You got to get rid of them or you're going to ruin your business without even trying.
Texting. That's
Yeah.
another one that does it.
Yep. Are you ready for number 8?
Oh yeah, I already see it,
I know you see it. I'm about to shut my notebook.
and I quit.
See? He's being number 8 right now. Danny Bull is giving up too soon, and he's dancing in his chair at his little joke. But that's number 8 for how to fuck up your business without really even trying, is you just give up.
I always think about the Rocky Balboa quote where, you know, it doesn't matter how hard you get hit, it just matters how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. There's a similar one to that that says, you know, you may get knocked down. It's not about getting knocked down, it's about how many times you can get knocked down and keep getting up.
You know, I think there's a time and place with a business to call it quits if it's seriously not profitable. But before you get to that point of actually
If you get,
shutting it down, you need to look at the business and figure out where you're fucking it up.
if you're getting to this point of you're thinking about giving it up, you need to go through the other 7.
Unless you just decided you don't like being in business, then by all means quit. Because if you're not happy,
yeah, you need
that's
to
a
be
valid
happy.
reason.
But if it's not that reason, you need to be going through the other 7,
She
Things
pulled out
that
the
are-
squeaky from the squeaky toy.
the other 7 that are reasons on why your business is failing, and see exactly how many of those you are actually doing.
Reach down over there for me.
Because I can guarantee you that's probably what's going on.
I see people, you know, I talk to a lot of people who are new to business, new to writing, new to you name it, you know, as far as being in business. And they start off and they're super duper excited, which is just the norm for business. But, you know, I've watched people who want to self-publish and they start off with the best of intentions of, I don't care if I make any money, I just want to get my story out there. Okay, cool. Seriously, it's fine. I mean,
Nobody's paying me
but
$10,000.
then, yeah, that's just it. They get upset because their friends aren't sharing their posts. Nobody's buying their book, no matter how many times they talk about it. And it's the same with freelancers, you know. They're in business for 1 week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks. You know, maybe they've had 1 gig, maybe they've had no gigs, and they quit because they seem to think that just because they're automatically, you know, they're working from home or they're self-employed, they're writing or whatever, all of a sudden, like, shit's just going to be handed over to them, and when that doesn't happen, it frustrates them and they quit. It took me, well, my very first freelance gig, I got paid $30 for writing a demand letter. And then the one after that came, gosh, we had moved. I was still working. I was still teaching and working at the law firm at the same time. The next one, though, was editing a legal dissertation for somebody in another country. So it took a while before I had things up and running fairly regularly. Like, it was a lot of trial and error. One of my clients that I started with probably a year later, I'm still working with them now as an editor. So, you know, he's digging at his eye. He got his eye split open while we were in Vegas at his jiu-jitsu competition. He's still picking
No,
at it.
that's not what happened. It was a bar fight.
Yeah, okay.
I got hit in the head with a pool table. And
Sure.
all it did was cut open my eye.
Sure.
2 of them had guns.
Sure. But giving up is a big thing. You know, people quit too soon. And it's because they get frustrated. They don't understand that, you know,
And
nobody
giving-
ever looks at... The thing is, you give people business statistics, they think that they're somehow immune to those. You know, they're going to be that small percentage of people that make it through, but then they quit. They become the statistic.
The J.P. Sears
Yeah.
entrepreneur.
Yeah. So, giving up is the number 8 way to fuck up your business without even trying.
And really, giving up is so easy. I don't see why people do it. I mean,
Because they're frustrated.
yeah, but
They think
like
they
I
have these
said
great
earlier,
ideas, you know?
review the other. Well,
Now 7. Yeah.
But I mean, once we get to the end of the list, review the other 9 possible things that could be
Review-
going on.
Yeah.
And see how many of these things you're doing. You know, because
That brings us into number 9, though, because what's going to happen is most people then are going to make excuses
yes,
about why those, other things shouldn't really apply to them. And making excuses, in my opinion, if I were to put these in an actual order, most important to least important, this would be the most important one at the top of the list is making excuses. That is the number 1 way to fuck up your business.
yeah, because somebody pays you for a product or a service.
It's nobody's fault but yours if your business goes down in flames.
They don't care about what's happened. They don't care about why you're not getting that done on time. They just care that it's not done, that you gave them a promise.
And you didn't
Yeah,
fall through.
You didn't do it.
Let's be clear, though. There's a difference. Let's go back to what we said earlier. If your kid literally falls and breaks their leg, that's not an excuse.
It's not an excuse. That's an emergency. But if your kid
That's way different than...
if your kid fell and broke his leg last week, and that's the reason why you haven't finished the project.
You have to look at your own time management, which I probably should have put on this list.
Well, no, I think time management goes with lack of planning and, not enough effort, and about
Goes with all
freaking
of them.
3 other ones. Goes with giving up, because if you're not
I told you they all tie together somehow.
doing time management, then you're obviously not doing your job.
I'm not doing very good risk management right now. I have a puppy over here eating the fluff out of a destroyed chew toy.
It won't kill her.
I know.
She'll
Keep
be all right.
talking.
But I always love people's excuses on why they can't do things, or why it didn't work out, or why.
I could tell you some of the excuses I used to get when I taught from adults.
Yeah, my favorite.
Not even the teenagers, from when I was doing junior achievement, the career planning class or whatever.
Those are always my favorites.
Freaking
Whenever she was
adults,
working,
man.
when Robin was working colleges, and adults had excuses on why they weren't able to get things done. But I
was tired.
yeah, I was tired. I went out last weekend and got drunk.
That was a lot of it.
And I just didn't have time. No,
I
you
got
just
arrested.
had a hangover. Oh yeah, dude, I've actually used that excuse
I was
once
in
or twice.
jail. Well, why'd you go to jail? It's not my fault. Well,
Yeah, it kind of was. I've never said it wasn't my fault.
that was my
when I-
criminal justice class too, and I'm just
Oh,
sitting
yeah.
there. This is police procedures, and you're telling me.
It wasn't your fault you went to jail. Yeah.
But yeah, making excuses is just, nobody is to blame for what's going on in your business but you. Nobody. It's not your client's fault. If your client's an asshole, well, they're an asshole. I mean, you're going to work at some point with people you don't get along with, but that doesn't make it their fault that you don't fulfill your
No, it doesn't.
initial end of the bargain. I'm not talking about if they change shit at the end. You know,
it
that's
doesn't.
different.
And it's, I think a few weeks ago I said this, it's nobody else's problem besides yours.
Yep.
Your business succeeding or failing is nobody's problem besides yours.
Yep.
And I I had a whole 20-minute spiel on it last time, so I'm gonna try and keep it as short as possible. But
You can do 20 minutes if you like. I have unlimited bandwidth.
no, it's all right. I see number 10. I'm kind of waiting for that one. I think I gotta.
Have you finished your spiel?
Yeah, my spiel's done. It's nobody else's fault but yours. You succeed or you fail. It's
If you
nobody else's.
disagree and you want to send hate mail to him, you can go to facebook.com/therobinbull and send the page a message. Just address it to Danny because he is an admin there and he will see it.
Oh, I'll see it and I'll
And then
reply
we're
and
gonna-
I'll just say
No,
it's your fault.
No, we're going to read it on the show and we will address it together.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't that sound fun?
That sounds even better.
That sounds fun. Okay, you ready for number 10?
Yes.
Number 10. This is the 10th and final reason on our list of things that will fuck up your business without you trying. You have the wrong attitude.
Okay.
I'll let you start.
No.
Mine's pretty short and sweet.
Go ahead.
You know, it
Ladies first. Manners.
you gotta
Right
get
attitude.
you gotta get to a certain point. As someone who's self-employed, I don't care what industry you're in, to take the specific attitude of they need me a lot more than I need them. And even if you have that attitude, because I've had it a time or two, there's a right and a wrong way to do that. I can decline a job because I don't want to work with someone, but I give them the "Dear John, it's not you, it's me" speech because I have a reputation to protect. But anytime I go into something, even if someone starts being difficult, having the right attitude is so important. You know, you can't go into this thinking, especially with clients, you can't go into it thinking, I know everything, and if you don't agree with me, well then fuck you. Because if you do, you're going to lose them as a client, you're going to be lucky to get paid, and you're certainly not going to get them back.
You're not going, and you'll be amazed at how many of these people have connections with other people that all of a sudden you don't have work.
Yeah. And so, if you don't believe that the way someone wants to go about their project is absolutely the best way to do it, there's a right way and a wrong way to address that situation. But at the end of the day, if they disagree with your assessment, you have to be able to just accept that and act like a professional and move on and do it the way that they want it done. And you have to make sure that you have the right attitude with other freelancers and people that you come into contact with on social media, because if you come off with a bad attitude, it really can affect your work. It can affect your workflow. You know, it gets around pretty quick, and people don't necessarily want to work with an asshole. Unless you're a really smart, snarky asshole, then apparently you have to turn work away.
And if you have pictures of you dancing at the strip club, chances are
All right, Panda. Panda doesn't want to share her toy today. She has the wrong attitude.
chances are people don't want to deal with you.
Well, but that's really about how you're presenting yourself versus your actual attitude towards others or business. And you know, the whole attitude, he's fighting with Panda trying to get the toy so the dogs don't fight over it. She's going outside with it. She's behind you. But the whole attitude thing is more about how you treat others. Panda got past Danny and into the house with her toy, and Danny ended up in the floor. But it's more about how you treat other people and also how you approach your business. I've worked with a lot of new freelancers who, they may really want to work from home. They want to be self-employed. They want the freedom of that. But when it comes to actually working with their clients, they carry a lot of disdain. It's really bad. I'll see it online too. And I've seen people badmouth their clients on public social media accounts. And that's a terrible thing to do, because just like private employees can lose their job from posting ridiculous things on social media, such as not too long ago there was a story about social media. I quoted it on howtobecome a paralegal.com on an article that I wrote about being careful with what you're putting on your social media. And it was a lady who she interviewed at a daycare, got the job, hadn't started yet, and lost the job before she started because on her public social media account, she talked about how much she hated children. So she lost her job. That's a bad way to approach it.
You're in the wrong business, lady.
So, and I know that a lot of us, because I've done it here and I've done it on social media and I've done it on my blog, I know that a lot of us, we use the experiences that we've had as people who are self-employed to explain to others how to handle certain situations. But there's still a right way, and that's Panda hitting the door. There's still a right way and a wrong way to go about using these things as examples. So, you know, just be really careful. And the golden rule, I think, really applies. Treat people how you want to be treated. As far as your attitude, you know. And have a positive attitude about what you're doing in general, because otherwise it makes for a really long career.
Did you bring up it's probably a bad idea to introduce yourself cussing like a sailor?
No, because I cuss like a sailor on this show.
Yeah, but...
And anybody who looks me up on social media, who are clients on my public ones, they see some colorful words. That in itself I don't think has hurt me because I'm not cussing at anyone. I'm using them as sentence enhancers.
But I'm talking about...
I'm not saying you son of a bitch.
No, I'm just talking about...
I'm saying, did you see this shit?
I'm talking about the...
Ooh, story time.
You know, the... I have to use 8 sentence enhancers in an 11-word sentence. You know, so that's what I'm talking about. Probably not the best first impression.
Doesn't hurt me.
You don't cuss that much. I don't want to hear it.
I could.
Yeah, no, you probably couldn't.
Okay, so let's just do a quick rundown of the list again. We're not going to repeat any of the details. We're just going to do the 1 through 10, the 10 ways you can fuck up your business without even trying. Number 1, lack of planning.
I like how she says fuck up your business after I say cussing like a sailor.
That's right. And I emphasized it. How to fuck up your business.
That's not cussing like a sailor, though.
Anyway, that was the name of this show before Danny decided to pick on sentence enhancers. But it's the 10 ways. Number 1. Are you telling the dogs to stay out of the dirt? Again, this is the only show where it's always bring your kid to work day. 1, lack of planning. Number 2, not enough effort put into your business or into your projects, for that matter. Number 3, poor communication.
An example.
That's Danny showing you how not to use active listening. Number 4, poor work ethic. Number 5, you don't know anything about your target market. Number 6,
Eskimos.
Number 6, you're not setting any goals at all.
I'll get it done eventually.
Number 7, he just ran face first into the fence.
I saw what he did.
Number 7, distractions, such as an 8-year-old running face first into the fence. Number 8, giving up. Number 9, making excuses.
It's not my fault.
Number 10, having the wrong attitude.
Like this. Stop.
Yeah, Pandora has a bad attitude today. I'd like to go back about the distractions because everybody has heard our 8-year-old during the show at various points with his fart noises and running face first into the wall. You know, it's a non-school day, so we kind of knew what we were getting into doing this in the middle of the day, but it's also a little bit easier because we advocate working from home and being with your children and them being part of it. So it's kind of what that is. You know, you're seeing what happens when you work from home. Husband of mine.
They're not exactly seeing it. It's a podcast.
No, but they can hear all the distractions.
Well, that's true.
I could have hooked up the camera. I didn't figure you wanted me to. I could have.
Anyways,
I thought about it, but, you know, we try to keep his privacy.
What in fuck's sake do you want? God damn it.
Well,
cussing like a sailor. That's cussing like a sailor.
We could start with a bag full of unmarked bills, but I was just going to ask if you had any closing remarks, comments, complaints that you wanted to add.
Stop being a lazy prick, and maybe your business would actually do something.
My business is doing fine, thanks.
Not yours.
Anything else you'd like to add? Any closing thoughts?
No.
You
No,
okay?
I'm good.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay, well, that's all we have for Monday. Make sure that you subscribe. I'm definitely bringing the camera in here next time. He's dancing. Make sure that you subscribe on Podbean. What were you going to say?
That was my Bill Cosby dance.
So you can subscribe if you are listening to this through somewhere else that you've downloaded it, because I know it goes into a lot of different feeds. You can subscribe by going to blackmothradio.podbean.com and hit the subscribe button. You'll find that most of our downloads are free. There will be some that are more in-depth business related. There's only one right now, but there will be more that do cost a very small amount, but it's not free to have a podcast at all. I do have to pay for the hosting and all that good stuff, so that's a monthly expense that we incur. Make sure that you visit confessionsfromthecouch.com, and it is a beautiful hibiscus, according to our 8-year-old.
Oh, it's a hula hibiscus.
My husband would know more about hula hibiscus than I would.
Mickey Mouse, motherfucking clubhouse.
Make sure that you visit confessionsfromthecouch.com. Subscribe there too. Join the almost 1,500 subscribers to the blog. And pay attention to the site. Pay attention to facebook.com/therobinbull. Make sure you go and give that a like. Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/therobinbull. And watch soon for your opportunity to order a physical copy of our Work From Home magazine. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you soon.
Hopefully, you're walking away from this podcast with a plan to implement the tips you've heard, a great attitude, and you subscribe to Black Moth Radio to ensure that you never miss any of the goods. Whether you're a hopeful work-from-home freelancer or you're well settled into your work-from-home lifestyle, we hope you've learned something that you can use. If you're ready to more about the work-from-home lifestyle, check out sellfy.com/therobinbull. Questions, comments? Let Robin know by going to facebook.com/therobinbull or confessionsfromthecouch.com. Thanks for listening. Join us next time and keep learning.